A few years ago, anybody in the entertainment industry would have called you crazy if you told people that you were going to release your game for free, with optional transactions. Nowadays though, free-to-play is really the big hype. The story of free-to-play mostly began with League of Legends, which was the first real big free-to-play success. Ever since then, free-to-play titles have been released for all genres: strategy, racing, shooter, RPG, you name it, you're gonna find it out there. Except maybe a third-person sci-fi shooter in which you do not shoot other people, you actually shoot NPCs. This is a free-to-play game called Warframe, which we are going to review today, and we're going to check out if it's worth your time and your hard-earned money. This game is supposed to be in open beta, but let's be honest here, if you release the game to the public and you also include transactions already so people can spend real money, then this game is no longer in beta, this is a complete release, and I'll treat it as that. Releasing an unfinished game sooner and just putting open beta in front of it because you can't wait to earn some extra cash is not acceptable in any way whatsoever. But that's enough of my ranting, let's move on to what you're really here for, the review of Warframe. In Warframe, you play as a member of an ancient civilization of warriors that has been locked away in cryostasis for centuries. You are one of the Tenno. They're the only ones that can wear exosuits that give them superhuman powers, and these exosuits are called Warframes. Using your Warframe, you'll have to work your way through several different missions. To help you on your path, there's Lotus, a woman's voice you will hear over the radio, but you'll never see her in-game. But of course there's also loads of enemies. In total there are 3 different factions of enemies. The first enemy faction you'll encounter are the Grineer. These are basically humans, but they look a little bit more ugly. Next up are the Infected. These guys are kinda like space zombies, and they mostly use melee attacks. And the last faction you'll encounter are the Corpus. These guys like to use drones and other technological stuff to try and kill you with. Honestly, there's not much of a story in this game. You wake up, Lotus tells you to do some missions, for some reason everybody in the galaxy hates you and you want to kill each other. Unlike most other free-to-play titles out there, Warframe is not a PvP shooter. You're not supposed to shoot other players, you're supposed to work together with up to 4 players and work your way through a mission. There's all kinds of mission types ranging from assassination to rescue missions, but it all comes down to pretty much the same. Shoot stuff, and shoot some more stuff. The missions kind of feel lackluster because there's no real reasoning behind them. Why should I do this? Lotus just says, hey, go rescue that guy, and you do it. You don't know who that guy is, you don't know where he's gonna go, and you never hear from him again. Now, like I said before, you can play with up to 4 players at the same time. You could choose to join a game online with other players you don't know, you can choose to create a private game which only features your friends, or you could play it solo. It's quite obvious though that the game is meant to be played in multiplayer. You can start off doing everything solo, but eventually you'll have to group up to progress. Sadly, however, the multiplayer seems to be a peer-to-peer lag fest. There are no dedicated servers. For those of you who don't know what that means, it means that the game is actually hosted on one of the player's computers, so everybody has to connect through that player's internet connection through his computer, and for some reason the game always seems to pick the person with the worst kind of internet connection, because I have joined about 10 games already. I honestly tried, but each and every last one of them lagged so much it was completely unplayable for me. However, besides all that, the solo gameplay was actually kinda fun. It reminded me a lot of Mass Effect. The melee items are pretty cool as well, and it feels really satisfying to chop an enemy straight into 2 pieces with a charged sword attack. When you finish the tutorial, you'll be given a choice between 3 different Warframes, each filling a different role. You should pick carefully because you can't easily switch to the other ones afterwards, because you have to buy those. There's a whole bunch of different Warframes available, and most of them you can craft by yourself, but crafting is a big grind, and instead you of course have the option to spend some money and make everything go quicker. The same goes for about every other item in the game, so it's not a case of pay to win, it's more a case of pay to skip the grind. You also earn experience by playing, and experience also unlocks more items that you can use to upgrade your armor and your existing weapons. One thing that really sets this game apart from other free-to-play titles are the graphics. It looks better than most AAA titles and it runs great. It has pretty low system requirements actually. One thing that did annoy me at first was that every level were the same narrow corridors. Everything looked the same. But just when I was gonna give up, I walked into a big open area with beautiful lighting and a beautiful skybox and I was absolutely blown away. I just wish these areas were featured more prominently, instead of all the narrow corridors constantly. Those kinda get annoying and they all look exactly the same, it's pretty boring. Now sound wise the game isn't anything special, and to be honest the voice acting of Lotus is horrible. And why the hell would you make her voice sound like it's coming from a radio from the 50s? You live in a futuristic environment with robot suits that give you superhuman powers. How can you not have a decent communications device? All in all, Warframe is far from finished and really shouldn't be in an open beta form where you can actually spend money on it. And although the graphics look amazing and the gameplay is pretty solid and fun, overall there's a lot of things missing. Most importantly, dedicated servers. And if you can't get dedicated servers, at least give us the option to see the pings of other people and let us select who we want to join. Also, if you want to use voice acting in your game, actually hire a professional voice actor. They're not cheap, but choose that or don't include voice acting at all. Now the play for free model actually fits this game quite well and it's nicely executed. Of course it's gonna be a bit grindy if you don't pay, but these developers need to get some money as well, so they need to give the people that pay a bit of an advantage. Now an advantage isn't pay to win, because any item that influences the strength of your character and its abilities is available for every player if you pay or don't pay. To answer the question, is Warframe worth it? Well, I can just say you can try it out for free, and I would try it out for free. It's actually fun for a few hours, but I wouldn't spend any money on it yet. I'd avoid that if I were you. Thank you for watching, and if you enjoyed the video, don't forget to check out my channel for more gaming related content.